We're starting this again. This is our brother Jamal. I'm bringing you a video here on my YouTube channel. Inshallah, we'll try to place this and get this out, get this message out to as many places and people as we can. Inshallah, we'll try that. We're still, our subject is still from the Holy Quran, the importance of our maintaining justice. And in the Holy Quran, Allah commands us about the importance of justice. He commands us, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, when you judge between people, judge with fairness. That's extremely important. When you judge between people, you have to judge with fairness. Otherwise, there's no sense in having no kind of judgment. The reason I'm using this as my topic, because oftentimes the Muslims, they will say something to the African American Muslims about being involved in the movement, being involved in the struggle, you know, and on. And I see where this happens so much. And I simply want to say to my Muslim brothers and sisters, Allah is commanding us and telling us the importance of when you judge between people, judge with fairness. And for those brothers and sisters who have been in America for a while, maybe you just came to America, and you've probably been watching the movement that has taken place around the murder of George Floyd. And the momentum has swept across the country. Even 18 countries outside the U.S. are in solidarity with the movement for George Floyd. But what I want my brothers and sisters, Muslim brothers and sisters, to understand, if you know anything about this movement, you know it's bigger than any individual, it's bigger than any organization. Yes, it happened to blow up because of the brutal murder that took place with George Floyd. Yeah, it blew up from that. But there's been countless of so many murders that have taken place inside the United States against black people. That's a reality. See? And you might not want to get into the black-white thing, you know, talking about prejudice. We can come up with all kind of stuff. But the reality is what it is right now. This is the reality. It's been like this for quite some time. I said I could take you back to 1950. But let me do one better than that. For my Muslim brothers and sisters, you know that the what has happened in this country during the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century, the Muslims who were brought here, who were kidnapped from Africa, the colonizers, who were kidnapped from Africa, brought to America in bondage as slaves. Those are all Muslims. The majority of them are Muslims. Some of them stayed in the religion. Some of them got to try to make a better life for themselves. Some of them went to Canada. Some of them went back to their countries, their home. Some of them stayed in America. They could write, read, and speak Arabic fluently, the ones that came in 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century. Majority of them were Muslims. So America didn't treat them fair when they captured them from another part of the world and brought them here. There was no fairness, there was no justice in that, period. It wasn't. So when they brought them here, they also created a law called segregation. There was no fairness in that. So before someone goes talking about the Muslims being involved in this movement, then you need to know your facts and you need to know what you're talking about, and you need to know the history. If you're disregarding the history and what is happening in America, then you can't talk about now, because now is a carryover from what has happened in the past. See, that's a carryover. And like I said, the bigger picture is not an individual. The bigger picture is what Brother Malcolm talked about, institutionalized racism. He talked about this. This is one of the things that our beloved brother El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz talked about. Institutionalized racism, social injustice, and oppression. All three of those things, black people have been up under the gun since the kidnapping of the African Muslims who were brought here 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century to this day. See? So we need to get this right. When you see black people involved in this struggle, in this movement against social injustice, against institutionalized racism, against oppression, that's what we're talking about. You need to understand that real clear. And the Quran already talks about the importance of maintaining justice, and how we are to maintain justice is by judging people with fairness. America has not been fair about anything when it comes to black people. That's straight up. That's it. They have not been fair. And still as we speak, America, these police departments are still murdering black people as we speak. So I don't know what people, what time zone or what people are living in, where they get this thinking from. See, and as I said, the bigger picture is not about the individual, not about our organization. The bigger picture is what El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz talked about, was social injustice, institutionalized racism, and oppression. Those three are the biggest things. To this day, nobody in this country have faced those things like African American and black people have in this country. Nobody has faced them to the degree. See, and still as we speak, they just murdered a brother in Atlanta, Georgia, shot him in the back. They just murdered a sister in Louisville, Kentucky, in her home, went to the wrong address and shot her house up, murdered her in the process, and then tried to lie about it. You know, another brother got murdered in Seattle, Washington. You know, they just found two brothers hanging in L.A., 50 miles apart. These two brothers were hanging. So this idea of thinking somehow that this is still not going on, yes it is. This is why the movement for social justice, against oppression, institutionalized racism, it has to continue to keep going, because still this is happening as we speak. As we speak. Not something that's past tense, is happening as we speak right now. So I just wanted to say that the young sister who got murdered in Tallahassee, Florida, I say to the young people who are involved in the movement, anytime that you go somewhere, especially if you're going to deal with the police, going to the police department, going to file a complaint, anytime you go to those kind of places, please take someone with you. Because oftentimes, male or female, you go to those places and it's probably the last time they're going to see you. Because when you go there and file a complaint, first of all, they already know who you are. They already know what the deal is. And most likely,